And welcome back to Dragon Studio and Dragon HQ once more. I'm sure you know by now I am Caroline, the original Dragon Lady. Sorry if you can hear the clicking. I've lit the fire in my room because I've just walked in and it's bloody cold. We have sunshine outside, but it's bloody cold in here. So it's going to be a bit of a different one today, and it's a point of view I want to share and my thoughts and opinions. So back in the day, I had a conversation with Anya yesterday, who's my VA, who's my support, part of my support team here in the Dragon HQ office. And many of you who work with social media, are working, doing courses, selling products, training, teaching in any kind, will understand the pain of reaching people, of getting your posts seen, of getting that interaction going. And it's getting harder and harder and harder. And I've just seen a post on social media from a PR company that I follow, and she's saying the same thing. It's like, oh God, it's such a bloody slog to get any kind of traction on social media these days. And it really got me thinking. This goes back to a conversation that Anya and I had yesterday. And it really got me thinking about what's changed. And what's changed is we've gone digital, which has massive, massive benefits. Of course it does. I talk to people now from all over the world, and I'm building relationships and friendships all over the world. And what's really, really interesting is that those global friendships have been built and nurtured over a period of time. And this is what's got this whole my head going in a okay, what's changed, what's happening, what's going on, what is it that I want, what is it that people want, what is it that what needs do I need to meet, and what needs do I need met. So back in the day, and I'm going back 20 odd years, didn't have social. I didn't even have a bloody website, I don't think. Well, I probably did, sort of, because they're all relatively new then, or I was new to digital stuff. I didn't even have a mobile phone 25 years ago. So how did I reach my tribe? Because whenever I put any kind of event on, whenever I ran a workshop on or whatever, 95% of the time that filled, and that filled locally. So how did I reach those people? How did I build those relationships? And that's what I've been thinking about over the last few days. And this is where going digital has changed everything, because we've forgotten how to build relationships. You see, as you have probably seen on my socials, that I run a number of courses. I do quite a lot of training. I offer one-to-ones. This is personal mentoring, spiritual mentoring. You and I with the dragons. I do tarot. I teach the tarot. I teach dragons. Now, I'm assuming that you've seen my posts on social media. You've seen my newsletters. But what I find really interesting is I've got a global audience. And yeah, my workshops, they sort of trundle through and they start to, I get people on board and they get filled gradually. Oh, I'm also running a women's retreat in September with a friend from America, who is somebody that I met through my work online. And this is where it's really interesting, it's what's changed is that we don't build relationships, or few of us build relationships online, and how it's much more difficult to build relationships with people online because we're behind a screen, we're behind a keyboard. So when I was running courses 25 years ago, I'd put an advert in the paper, I'd put a poster up, I did have a mailing list, and people would then share my mailing lists and talk to people and say, oh, have you seen, or whatever they did. And then people would ring me. I'd have a conversation about the course. I'd have a conversation about the work that I was doing, or they'd see me at a show, or they'd ring me. And they'd say, oh, Caroline, I want to come and do the next course that you're doing. And quite often those courses were oversubscribed. And I had, you know, just a local following. I didn't have a global following. And yet it's harder to fill courses today with a global following online than it was to fill courses 25 years ago with a local following. What is that about? What's happened? What's changed? And what I've come to understand with the advent or invent of going digital, being online all the time, is that actually we don't have the same relationships. Because somebody is behind a screen, and like I am now talking to you, there is an element of, there's an invisible barrier. It's almost like watching somebody on the telly. It's almost like they are unreachable, they're unapproachable, because they are on a screen in front of you. It's this is, and if I'm wrong, please tell me, because this is sort of where I'm going, and it's a half-formed thought, but I just wanted to share it with you, because I just think we need to, if there's barriers that's stopping, and this isn't just me, this is other people that I know too, and if there's barriers that's stopping you interacting and building a relationship with somebody that you want to learn from, whose energy you want to be in, what is stopping you? Is it purely the screen? Is it because you don't know them? I've had many conversations over the last few weeks with people saying, oh, I'm a big fan, which is awesome, and I really appreciate that, and I go, thank you. Okay. I'm a bit it's humbling, and it's like, hello, but I'm just me. I'm no different to anybody else. And is that what it is? Is there this element that because you're on a screen and you're producing content, does that make you, I don't know, unapproachable in some way? Is there a fear of, oh God, it's unaffordable, she's got a big following, or they've got a big following, or they're doing this? And I just want to understand about the relationships that we now have, because they are so different to what we had, and certainly, you know, post-pandemic, it's relationships have become very different because we've all gone online. So I've always understood, when it comes to anybody, whatever you're selling, if you're trying to fill a course, fill a workshop, fill an event, sell a product, I've always understood it's like know and trust. People buy from people. People buy from people they trust. People build relationships with people they like, know and trust. So when it comes to interacting on social media, when it comes to signing up for a course in person or online, what is it that, is there a barrier to that? What is your barrier to that? What stops you investing your time and your money in learning, growing and developing? Is it because you don't trust the person? Is it because you don't want to invest the time, can't afford to invest the time, can't afford to invest the money, don't want to invest the money? Is it of value to you? And how do you, or how do we overcome these barriers? How do we create relationships going forward? Because times have changed. And I'm an old bird, you know, digital stuff is new. It's not my go-to. It's not my natural state of being. I'm a people person. I'm also an introvert in many respects. And I really do wish at time the world would just fuck off. And I want to take my ball home and not play. You know, I need my own space. And so I'm a bit of a misnomer, really. I like people, but I also want to go, no, people don't want to play anymore. But how do we address all that balance? Because we are online 24/7. We've got this constant barrage of noise, of movement, of colour. Yes, turn your device off. It's so easy. Then we're addicted to our devices, aren't we? It's like, oh my God, that's a whole another story. But going back to, relationships, is there a distrust from behind a screen, from behind a keyboard? There's a rise in cyberbullying and trolling and people just being generally bloody vile. What is that about? Anyway. But how do you build your community? How do you build your relationships with people now across time zones through screen time? I would really love to know your thoughts on that, because maybe I'm missing something. Because I like people. It's one of the reasons I started the podcast, my Chatty Ramble podcast, because I really like people and I like to talk to people and share stories and understand why they do what they do and where are they coming from. It's why I love teaching. I love to share that information with people. It's why I love doing the one-to-ones. I love to see people grow, blossom, expand. I love to see the penny drop, or somebody's having a really crap time and I'm doing a reading for them in our tarot, and it's like, yeah, life isn't a box of chocolates, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. There is options and opportunities. There's always wiggle room. I just love to see people blossom, and that's my work. That's why I do the retreats. I love to see people grow, blossom, have those penny drop moments. It's like, oh my God, that's what that's about. That's what's stopping me. That's why X, Y, and Z. That's where that's come from. Whatever it is that's going on for anybody. I just love to see that expression, that lift. What makes your heart lift is that moment of dawning where that change has taken place, and that's alchemical. That's changing at a cellular level, DNA level. That's those shifts that have taken place. You go, oh, now I get it. And they're the people that I want to work with. They're the people that I'd like to reach. And is that person you? Are you looking for that answer? And are you ready to invest? What is the answer to making and building communities? When I started my Dragon Lady page, it's about building a community. It's about building, it's not just me spouting and sharing with my followers on Instagram or Facebook or anywhere else, but it's also about building a community of people that can connect together, because I'm a connector. That's one of the things that I do, is I connect people. I like to build communities. not just for me, but for others in their areas, and put people in touch with people that I feel are a good fit, that can support each other in any way. You know, there's many things that, many passions that I have. So anyway, it's just a ramble, a chatty ramble from me, and just my thoughts. And I'd love to know what you think about it. And if you've got any ideas or things you'd like to see, either on socials or events or whatever, you know, please do leave a comment below, because I'm always open to ideas if they're sensible and helpful. I don't do trolls and rubbish like that. But I'd love to know what your thoughts are, and also, you know, what stops you and what lights you up, what makes your heart sing. Anyway, enough from me. I'll see you in the next video. See ya.